All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about how to paint the plates for your 3D color wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and play this, I think. All right, so first of all, we're going to use some metal trays. If you're doing this at home, you could use basically an old lid, margarine lid, butter lid, or you could even use a plate. What's nice about these metal trays is they clean off easily. And whatever you're using for your paint, whether it be like a small individual bottle or you're sharing with somebody, you want to make sure that you're pouring just a little bit on the tray or the plate at a time. So anyway, you can see here I have the yellow done, and your goal is to paint half of the plate one color, half of the plate is going to be the other color. In this case, it'll be green. Now on the back side of the plate, it is going to be yellowish green, but we can't paint that until this side is completely dry. So with the colors, I'm going to put yellow and blue down because those are the two colors we use to make the color wheel. So I'm going to put just a little pile of yellow in the corner here and a little pile of blue in the corner here also. When I say a little pile, we're talking, probably about the size of a quarter. I'm going to try to keep these in the corners. Instead of pouring them together like I just showed you, we want to keep them separate because that saves paint and that definitely saves time too. So instead, I'll put a little bit in this corner. And if you're using the pill bottles, just make sure you pour just a little at a time. You've got it handy so you can always get more. I'm just showing with this condiment bottle, sometimes you gotta get a little clogged. So yeah, about the size of a quarter. All right, we're gonna do the same thing with the bottle of blue. And because blue is such a dark color, since blue is such a dark color, we're going to add the blue to the yellow because we can always keep adding blue. But if I add just a little bit of yellow to the blue, blue dominates. And again, I want a nice, even, solid green, so I'm going to mix it up in that pile. And you're going to keep mixing. Notice that I keep this just about the same area or the same size. If you spread it out too much, again, you're wasting paint and you're wasting time. So I'm going to keep kind of swirling it and not really getting any bigger than what you see here. And you also want to like bring it around and sweep the edges. There's a little color wheel there as a reference, but I think what is available right there is a little too on the yellowish green. So we need a little more blue. Then we'll just mix using our brush. Again, notice I kind of swept in that outer edge and I'm just kind of mixing it again, just a little bit more. If you add too much blue, it's going to be blue-green, and we don't want that. But you can see as I continue to mix, the yellow that's in the brush and the yellow that's on the area around it is really mixing to get the blue that we want, or excuse me, the green that we want. All right, so looking at that, that's about what we need. When you're painting, you want to make sure that you paint from the center off the paper. Don't try to paint from the edge of your paper on because it will squish on to the back of your plate, which is not a good thing. You certainly don't want the screen on the back of your plate. In my example, you can see some blue streaks. I'm going to go back over that and neaten those up a little bit more. Again, don't squish it back on the plate, what I just showed you. And so you're going to paint this entire half green, and then you're going to want to put it aside to dry, and then come back and do the back side of it after these two are dry, and I can get comfortably lay this on the table. Now, I picked up the plate just to show you that, yes, you could hold it in the air. The only problem is it's a little tricky to paint that way. If you have any white areas, it's nice to have the pressure of the table to just kind of push down and get those folds of the plate done. So I did not have enough paint there. You can see in my example. So I'm going to go ahead and have to mix a little bit more yellow and blue to make the same green. But that can be done later. I want to show you about cleaning up. First of all, excuse my camera work here. When you are cleaning, you want to make sure that you are cleaning with both hands under the water, just sitting there with the paintbrush underwater does not work very well. Again, it's time here that we're wasting and water. So you want to run the water and you want to make sure and swirl your brush around. And then most of the time, the tray is going to be just a couple piles here. And it's almost quicker to just get a wet paper towel and just wipe them. That saves on paper towel, that saves on people trying to get in the sink, and it saves on time. So a little damp paper towel goes a long ways. You can see that that little area of my tray just needs a little more wiping and it's done. I don't even have to dry it because it's already done. So let's go on. I already talked to you about the brush. You can see, whoops, I was just swirling it in my hand just to make sure I get all the paint out. What I will ask you to do if you are cleaning this on your own is to do a swipe test on the back of your hand just to make sure it's clean. And then you certainly want to make sure that you clean up your table area before you begin the next color because we want to keep our plates clean and for the most part what we call a pure color. So that is it. That's what we will concentrate on for working on our plates.